Why is credit important today? Because there's different people saying different things about credit, and we got running jokes in our community about bad credit. First of all, why do you think we typically have bad credit or don't place importance on it? And then tell us why it's important.
So I think that we just don't realize just how critically important credit is in the United States of America. Other countries, maybe not so. Like if you go to Nigeria, it's not so important, but the money in your bank is more important. But here in America, credit affords you great leverage. Like me as a business owner can go into a bank. My business makes 8 figures a year now. I go into a bank and ask to borrow money. They're like, no. And with my business, but I go into a bank with like down near no income and can come out and have a loan for a $200,000, $300,000 house. And so credit allows for you to do that in this country. Also, too, when it comes to credit, it's going to determine if certain jobs you won't be able to get or will be able to get. It's going to determine even how much you pay for utilities because they look at your credit and they charge you more upfront. It's going to determine where you live. It's going to determine the kind of car that you drive. So credit is critically important. You don't have to put everything into credit, and I don't believe in having a ton of credit cards, but I do believe in having a strong credit score, especially now. So now there is a looming recession. Technically, you can't call what we're in now in a recession just yet until it's been 6 months of economic downturn, but that's what it's going to be, right? So you're hearing more and more banks are tightening the reins because they know people are going to be leaning into them to borrow money because times are tight. If you don't have good credit, you're not going to have access to those funds. JP Morgan and Chase just said not even 3 weeks ago, oh, yeah, so if you want to buy a house from us now, you have to have a 700 credit score. That's like unheard of. And you have to have 20% down. That's like 1970s, for them to say that. And so that you're seeing more and more banks follow in line. So if you have good credit, when recessions happen, more millionaires are built during recessions than any other time. I'm proof.
Talk about it.
You want to be ready. You want to have your money stacked. That's why I told my husband, it's like we make good money now, we cut off our cable. This house I'm living in paid off. We bought it in cash. It was a foreclosure. We bought it a couple years ago. I did a refi cash out. I'm pulling money out this house. I looked at my credit the other day and I'm waiting because guess what? Somebody's house down the street is going to go on sale. A $300,000-$400,000 house is going to go on sale for $150,000 and I can buy it boom cash. Now all of a sudden I've increased my net worth. So now's the time for preparation. So I don't spend that much time. Someone asked me the other day, I did an interview, what kind of, what do you binge watch? And I'm like, you mean like TV? I'm getting ready for the recession. It's war. Like the only thing I binge watch is financial YouTube videos. I'm always reading. I'm trying to prepare for what I know because if I could become a millionaire from last recession, can I become a millionaire?
A billionaire?
Right?
Yes.
Or 8-figure millionaire this recession? Certainly so. Now is the time to prepare. Get on that budget, live below your means, stack your savings, save so you can invest. That's the purpose of savings. The purpose of savings is to provide financial security and then to also invest and to get prepared to invest. That's what you should be doing right now.
What does investing look like, Tiffany? What does that mean to you? Not just, because I think people are so scared of losing because I think we always come into things late. What you're saying right now to some people, they haven't been preparing during these last 10 years of, windfalls because the stock market has been great, but we weren't in it. We weren't in that ride, right? The economy was great, but we didn't save. We were spending. And now it's hitting. And people don't have money to do what you're saying. And they're feeling this fear of loss.
Well, at the very least, if you might say, this might be a really great time to buy a house, right? The housing market, they're predicting for it to fall as far as the prices of homes. Now, it's slower to move. The stock market can fall in one day. Housing prices don't typically fall in one day, which means you have time. It might be 6 months, it might be a year where you really see housing prices tank. A year, you have time. You have time now to tighten up and say, with a house, you're going to need money down and you're going to need decent credit. So prepare for that now. That's what investing looks like as it relates to real estate.
So 6 months to a year, 6 months to a year, you can get your credit together?
Absolutely. It depends. The way credit works is that credit is your GPA. Remember in high school or in college, it is an average of the last 2 years of your financial choices. So if so if people think like, okay, well, what happened 10, 20 years ago, your credit doesn't matter as much now. So if you don't have that much credit, so when I met my husband, he didn't really grow up with a family that talked about financial education. His credit score was a 630, but he also didn't have that many financial choices on his credit report. So one good choice jumped his credit score up 130 points in 3 months. Now, I have a lot of credit choices on mine, so one good choice, because an average didn't make that much of a difference, right? So I would have to make a lot of repeated good choices in order to change my credit score. And the best thing you can do, like there are programs like Self. It used to be called Self Lender, and the way it works is you sign up for Self, we get a loan, a credit builder loan, and they don't actually give you that money. They put it in a savings account for you, and you pay that money back to Self. So it looks like you took out a loan and you paid it, and in a year you start to see your credit grow over time because you are responsibly paying back a loan, and at the end you get an extra boost because you paid that loan off. So that's one type of way you can build credit. You can also get yourself a secured credit card. Make sure you get it from a bank. And so what that is that's a credit card that's secured with your funds. So it can be as low as $300 where you put $300 into an account and they give you a credit card with a $300 limit, and you're going to keep that credit card at home because you're not going to be out here using it. Put it in your drawer somewhere. Put your Netflix on it so it could charge that $8 a month to that credit card, and then you pay that credit card off in full every month. Have your bank account pay that credit card in full off every month. You pay that credit card in full every month, you're going to see your credit score start raising for $8 a month. So start to build your credit in those ways. And if you don't know how to invest at all, here is the best way to start. You remember these things. So you can start with what's called a mutual fund. So most people are not ready to invest in individual stocks. That's fine because it's not easy to pick those. You have to take your time and learn. But if you don't have the time to learn, you can invest in a basket of stocks, right? And so that's what a mutual fund is. It's a basket of financial investments. And the reason why it's easier to invest is because you don't have to pick what's in the basket. So you're going to find a mutual fund. To me, the best ones are a total stock mutual fund. And so that means this basket is representative of all the stocks out there. So you don't have to worry like, oh, well, whatever, I want a little Apple, it's in there. Oh, it's all in there. Get you that big old basket, a total stock mutual fund. And if you don't have a retirement account, you can get a mutual fund that's a total stock mutual fund for your retirement account. And you would get a mutual fund that they call a target date mutual fund. That means you're going to pick the date that you want to retire or the date that you want to pull that money out. It's usually every 5 years, 2050, 2055, 2060. You pick that date, and then you continue to put your 20, your 30, or $50 a week into that mutual fund, and it's going to rebalance itself the closer it gets to the target date. It means that it's going to be a little risky in the beginning because it will be investing in things because it knows they have time before that money is due to you. And the closer it gets to your due date, the more conservative and safer the investments will become. So by the time you get your money, it's super safely invested. You don't have to, if the market drops the year before your retirement, it's okay because it's not invested in the market heavily. You see what I mean? And so mutual fund, target date mutual fund, if you're looking for retirement, and you just put your money in there, that's it. If you don't know nothing else, let me put my money in a total stock mutual fund. That's it. That's literally it. You'll be better than 90% of people out there.